Now, before I go through example 1 here, make sure that you've copied down in your notes back here these two forms. Point slope form, which is really good, and remember y sub 1 and x sub 1, those are just x and y coordinates. M is the slope, this is still slope, and x and y, these are variables. They will stay variables as we go through and do this. So make sure you have this down, and make sure you have this general form copied down. A, B, and C are numbers. They're whole numbers. They aren't fractions. And x and y are still variables. These are two other forms. We're still going to tend to use the slope-intercept form most, at y equals mx plus b. But these other two, they have their place and they're useful, and we're going to see that today. So on this example, I want to write the equation that passes through the points. And I've got these 2 points, and I can go through and do this a couple of different ways. But it doesn't matter what we need to do, we're going to have to find slope first. And remember, we find slope using our slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I just plug these in. xy, xy, plug in my second y minus my first y over second x minus the first x. -3 minus 0 is -3. On the bottom, that minus a negative becomes plus. -3 plus 7 is 4. Now, I am going to do point slope form. Point slope. Now, when I have this, I can pick either point that I have. It does not matter which point. You just pick whichever one you want to go through. I'm going to show you both, but I'm going to start with this one right here, -3, -3. And I'm just going to plug stuff in. So I'm going to have y minus my y value from the point equals m, that's the slope we just found, x minus the x value from the point. I'm going to clean it up a little bit, but a lot of times, and definitely on the delta math, if it says leave it in point slope form, you can just leave it just like this. You do not have to distribute. You do not have to move things. You do not have to combine any like terms. You get to leave it just like this. If I were to use the other point, and I can, if it doesn't tell us which one to use, we get to pick whichever one we want to use. We clean it up a little bit. And I'm going to leave it just like that. I could distribute here, and in some cases I might go ahead and distribute just to make it a bit easier, but otherwise I leave it just like that. So point slope form.